but if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public opinions.
I'm sorry, you took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film, and you did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them up after.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual genuinely?
Sir, everything. I don't owe you this comment.
I know.
This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank you and goodbye.
The ritual?
It's none of your damn business.
Oh.
President John F. Kennedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. 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 No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We intend to accept full responsibility for our errors, and we expect you to point them out when we miss them. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment, the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse and entertain, not to emphasize the trivial and the sentimental, not to simply give the public what it wants, but to inform, to arouse, to reflect, to state our dangers and our opportunities, to indicate our crises and our choices, to lead, mold, educate, and sometimes even anger public opinion. This means greater coverage and analysis of international news, for it is no longer far away and foreign, but close at hand and local. It means greater attention to improved understanding of the news, as well as improved transmission. And it means, finally, that government at all levels must meet its obligation to provide you with the fullest possible information outside the narrowest limits of national security. And so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
The beast referred to in Revelation 17:11 as being the, quote, eighth and is of the seventh and goeth into perdition, end quote, is also satanic in nature. This eighth beast is derived from the same beast that carried the seven empires. This eighth beast is composed of and represented by the 10 horns on the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns. The 10 horns represent a 10-nation kingdom to be manifested in the latter days. This 10-nation kingdom will be led by an Antichrist, or a Christian Antichrist, or a Muslim Savior. Revelation 17:12 states that, quote, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast, end quote. These 10 kings will give their power and strength to the beast. This 10-nation kingdom, when led by the Antichrist, will make war with Christ at the latter part of his 7-year reign. Christ will return out of the sky with his angels, and at that time the Antichrist will attempt to war against Christ. Of course, we know who wins. Revelation 17:14 and 19:11-21 states that this is not a war between East and West, neither between Muslims against Christians nor communists against capitalists. This is the war of the Antichrist, that means plural, against Christ, who will be returning to earth. Leading the way for the Antichrist will be those today who say they are Jews but are not. Upon Christ's arrival, he will cast the beast and the false apostle, which is the satanic political religious entity, into a lake of fire. Christ will then reign on earth for 1,000 years, Revelation 19:20. The satanic empire, symbolized by the great whore in Revelation, now reigns as the seventh world power and the revived Roman Empire. This revived Roman Empire consists of the United States and Britain, will be destroyed by the 10-horned kingdom, empowered by the beast and designated by God to rule for a short period or short space. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give the kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Revelation 17:16-18. Revelation 17:10. The destruction of the United States and Britain will be by fire, most likely a nuke. Both the ten-horned kingdom and the empire represented by the whore are Antichrist. Both derive their authority and power from the beast. Revelation 13:1-4. This beast is empowered by the dragon or Satan. Revelation 13:4. In the end, both the ten-horned kingdom and the whore shall go into the lake of fire. Revelation 19:20-21. However, the ten-horned kingdom will send off the whore first. Revelation 17:16. This ten-horned kingdom will be composed of Arab countries. We know the identification of the empire today that represents the whore or the seventh head on the beast. That is the United States and Britain. What contemporary religious political entity hates the United States and Britain? Arab countries and Muslims. This Arab union is God selected Judah. This is the will of God according to Revelation 17:17. This is distressing for those of us who reside in the United States. However, like Jesus said in the garden, let not my will, but the will of God be done. At least we now know and should get our personal spiritual houses in order. After the whore is burnt, the ten horns will go to war against Christ, Revelation 19:19. This eighth beast, composed of the ten horns, is empowered by the same dragon, Satan, that is Satan, who empowered the seventh head on the beast, called the whore, Revelation 13:2.